How many times we all call a friend, or you call your brother wherever they are. Hey, oh my God, what's going on there? It looks crazy. Like, no, that's over. It's fine. Don't worry about it. And that's where I get,
Yeah.
I get calls about, when there's a snowstorm somewhere, and oh my God, I looked at the news and it's devastating. It's like, it's a snowstorm, and it's just a snowstorm. That's all it
Yeah.
is. And that's kind of right. I think that's a good reminder, is like that the world is full of great people, right? It
Mm.
really, really is, and great opportunities. And I really appreciate your energy on this, because you're right. Yeah, right on.
It is because it it bothers me because with as much as I travel, there's so much goodness. Like it's the negativity or the negative people that seem to be the loudest, right? And so we hear so much of it. And I get it in a way that the news, they need to keep people interested. And it's easy to keep people interested when they're in fear, and it's easy to control people when they're scared. And so it's like, ooh, like, um, if I don't want to get into the whole COVID thing. Some people, there's so many different thoughts about it, but it is true. When people are worried and scared, they're easier to control. And,
I would agree
it's,
with you on that, very much so. I would really
um,
agree with you on that one. Yeah.
yeah, because if
And
we're not scared, we'll just do stuff. We'll be like, well, I'm not scared. I'm going to go do
and
this or try.
and it just sort of, what you say realizes makes me realize, how many people make financial decisions from that place of fear and
Yeah.
that place of terror,
Hmm.
and really, a place of anxiety avoidance, as opposed to opportunity seeking.
Right.
um, and that is probably the more crippling thing. How do you change the mindset? And I think probably the biggest thing keeping people from seeing the world is the fear, and that fear keeps you in your little, no, I'm going to put this here, I'm going to do what they tell me to do.
Hmm. Because
And I would not advise that. I don't advise
Exactly.
that.
And, if people want to look at investment wise, whether, you can look at stocks and you follow the numbers. Okay, the corporation's doing this or that, but there's always things that we don't know. There's things that are going on that we're not sure about, or we don't know behind closed doors, or sometimes numbers are fudged a little bit. So there's never 100% guarantee with that. Stocks go up and down all the time. It's the same thing with the real estate. You never know, but people need housing. We're always going to need that housing. There's always opportunities in different places, and it depends. What do you want? And if you're unsure, there's ways that you can buy something small, buy something inexpensive, just to kind of get your feet wet. Go to a country where you like to visit and use it as as I said, your vacation slash rental property, or just travel a bit. And on your travels, check out some real estate, talk to some people, ask about it. Like, talk to people. Really, that's a big thing. Is just get off your phones, get off your
Yep.
iPads, get off your computers, and just go out and talk to people. And there's so many opportunities in the world. And once you buy a place somewhere, then you get a bank account there. When you have a bank account, again, as we talked about, the bank account is good, but also then you can, depending upon the country, you may want to invest in the different corporations and stocks and things that they have in that country. But then again, there's another opportunity with that. So it's opportunities are endless. Of course we have to be smart and do some homework on it, but there really is a lot around the world. And the world is very large in some ways, but so small in others.
It's all, and I would say this also, the incredible tax benefits. And
Oh,
there's not a lot of opportunity for tax savings. If you're a wage earner, there's not a lot of things you can do. Real
no.
estate, it just opens up a whole world of understanding to you, that you're able to parlay your savings into more investments, and it just goes the right way when you're doing it like that. And
Mm,
discovering something. And I would say this, I have some very successful clients, and a few of them say, yeah, I had, just one or two things hit, like, yeah, I had that property did really well, and that just put me over the edge. It was that one thing, and that stuff didn't work out, but that's the thing that,
that's
and that's generally what I hear.
yeah.
Oh, that
Mhm.
didn't, oh God, that's a disaster. But then I was like, oh, that one thing. And so
But
by placing your bets just sort of a little
mhm,
bit around, and making educated guesses, and it's so much fun too to learn
right.
to remove the barriers that you had that you didn't realize you had, to remove
Hmm.
the thought blocks that kept you from doing something, to say, wait a second, they don't do this in this part of the world. And,
Right.
we're just a product of our programming and inertia, and that's not
Hmm.
freedom. That's not freedom.
No,
Huh.
no, it's a false sense. We're told it's freedom. We're told you have so much freedom, you have so much freedom until we decide you don't. You have so much freedom until we say, oh, you owe us tax money because you didn't interpret it right, or no, we're going to say it's this way. Or you
Right.
have so
Yeah.
much freedom until we're going to lock you down, or you have so much freedom until if you don't get a vaccination, this is what's going to happen. You have, like the list goes on, and it's not a matter of what you believe. It's reality. You have freedom as long as you follow the government's rules. If you don't follow their rules, you don't have freedom.
There you go. You perfectly stated, and that's exactly right. And I would say it's up to you to make your own
Yes.
freedom, and that's the thing,
Yes.
because